All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome in Charles Hurd, columnist for the Washington Times, who wrote a great piece at WashingtonTimes.com called Evolution and the Allegiance to the Church of Global Warming. I suggest you check that out. Charles, I hope you have enough time to get to it, but the breaking news, of course, the president speaking for the better part, I guess, of 45 minutes at that terrorism summit or whatever they're calling it. And, you know, I got to tell you, he almost started the speech by talking about the 3 Muslims, the students who were tragically, horrifically murdered in Texas by a guy who apparently, was just off his rocker, who I hope burns in hell for what he did if he did it. But it apparently had nothing to do with them being Muslim. He talked about that, insinuated again that that was a crime against Muslims, and said that Muslims in this country are afraid of all the rhetoric. I mean, that's a hell of a way to start your speech, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is incredible, Steve, and I think that is all we're ever going to get out of this president when it comes to this stuff is just talk, because the truth is I don't think that he actually believes that we have a crisis on our hands that we plainly do have. He would rather negotiate with Iran. He would rather just talk about all this stuff, and meanwhile, these people are plotting to kill us. And they're plotting to kill us not just because they don't like certain aspects of our country. They don't like the very foundation of our country, that we believe in freedom of religion, and the notion that anytime you have somebody equating a despicable act that stemmed from some crazy road rage over a parking spot or whatever, and you actually conflate that into what we're really dealing with in the Middle East and dealing with ISIS and this growing global threat. My goodness, you're in no position to be commander-in-chief.
Well, Charles, you said these people are out to kill us. Now, according to the president, it's not just one religion that has terrorists and radicals. He didn't say Christian terrorists and Jewish terrorists, but when he said it, I said, "Watch out! Here come the Jewish terrorists." I mean, you didn't have to watch this speech to know exactly what he was going to say. He talked about how we have to invest. We have to invest to get the would-be terrorist jobs so that they don't become terrorists. He ignores the fact that very well-educated, very wealthy terrorists are in existence and will always be in existence. And and I hearken back to Marie Harf earlier today, and this got by everybody except me apparently when she was on Morning Joe. They asked if she wanted a mulligan for all the stuff she's been saying. She said no, but then she brought up in an answer to Mike Barnickel's question, the Lord's Resistance Army. A Christian terrorist group, she called them. And why is nobody talking about them? I had to look them up. I had never heard of them. They're from Uganda, and they've done nothing of significance in about 10 years. That's what she came up with to give this stupid equivalence that all religions have this problem.
Yeah, and anytime somebody has to go back to the Crusades in order to try to justify some of this, or in order to sort of zero out everyone's actions, it's a pretty clear indication that they have absolutely no stomach whatsoever. They have no belief in actually stopping what is going on right now. And the fight is hard. The fight is ugly. It's not a fight of our choosing. It's a fight of their choosing, because we can stop. We can just sit on our hands and say we're not going to do anything. That's not going to make them go away, though.
Right.
And in fact, it's only going to strengthen them.
And Charles,
go ahead. This president has absolutely no concept of it.
He also brought up, and I said earlier in the show before his speech, I said if they couldn't find the Lord's Resistance Army, they were going to say Timothy McVeigh. Well, he basically said Timothy McVeigh. He brought up the Oklahoma City bombing, and the fact of the matter is that McVeigh was a self-professed agnostic. It had nothing to do with Christ or Christianity or doing it for God. He was just a nut job.
So now, what's kind of interesting now is that for the whole time that President Bush had his war on terror, you had all of these sophisticates like President Obama attacking him for having a war on terror, on a tactic. It was a declared war on a tactic. So now we're back to having a declared war on a tactic, in order so that we don't ever mention that we have radical Islam,
right.
Islamists who are, taking their religion and turning it into a burning fuselage.
Great point. Very great point. And folks, again, go to WashingtonTimes.com. Check out Evolution and Allegiance to the Church of Global Warming. Speaking of religion, because it really is the religion of the left, and it's a great piece by our friend Charles Hurd. Charles, always great to speak to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back with a member of the National Review editorial board and William F. Buckley Fellow, Ian Tuttle. And we're going to talk about the State Department's rhetoric, Obama's rhetoric, when it comes to ISIS and terrorists. How are we going to win this thing, folks? Coming up.